Simulation Network System Combination. Between GNS3, VMware Workstation Pro 12. Oracle VM VirtualBox in Computer Networking. Practice. Abstract. Currently, with the strong development of information technology, computers help people optimize their work. With the current development situation, the computer network cannot lack any business organization. The rapid development of computer networks significantly improves labor productivity, increasing work efficiency. Due to the practical needs, meeting the practical needs and approaching new technologies nowadays in building and deploying the network. In this paper, I propose a method of combining two GNS3, VMware Workstation Pro 12 and Oracle VM VirtualBox emulation software to simulate network performance, enabling students to improve their practicability and access to reality. These types of devices are very expensive, as the Route C7200 costs between 100 million to almost 1 billion, and the ASA5505 firewall costs about 150 million. Keywords: GNS3, C7200, VMware, ASA, VirtualBox. Introduction. Nowadays, the information technology industry develops at a fast pace. Along with the strong development of global network, the construction of network is becoming increasingly necessary for individuals, businesses, schools. Therefore, the simulation of network before putting it into practice becomes even more urgent and important. With strong development of network emulation software, it is necessary to build the system before deploying it in reality. In particular, GNS3, VMware and Oracle VM VirtualBox softwares ensure system simulation. GNS3 Software 123 allows building network system simulation of Cisco router, firewall ASA, Juniper, use real IOS device. Checking the device configuration before entering the real system. VMware Workstation software is the one that creates a virtual machine system, helping students build a local network before implementing it. Oracle VM VirtualBox software is similar to VMware to help students create virtual machine systems that operate in the local network model. Currently, with the expensive cost of Cisco, Juniper, server hardware devices, it is hard for the school to invest in practical equipment system for students to meet the needs of accessing the enterprise system of the school. Therefore, in this lesson I offer a solution to combine the current network emulation software such as GNS3, VMware Workstation, Oracle VM VirtualBox, to simulate and build a real network to help students approach practice. Performance of simulation system includes building network systems on GNS3 2.1 RC software connecting to the Internet and server system via VMware Workstation Pro 15 and Oracle VM VirtualBox 6. Building network application based on VMware Workstation and Oracle VM VirtualBox. VMware Workstation builds DC domain controller system, manages user account authentication. Oracle VM VirtualBox builds a web server and FTP server system on the DMZ domain. The remainder of the article is organized as follows: Part 2 describing related issues. Building the virtual system on simulation software described in Part 3. Part 4 describing the actual system implementation and results. Conclusion and further research directions in Part 5. 2 related issues. GNS3 2.1 RC software. GNS3 is simulation software for learning and research computer network. GNS3 is an indispensable piece of network construction and development and has been in use since 2008. GNS3 is an open source, free software which can be downloaded from gns3.com. GNS3 is a network emulation software with graphic interface. GNS3 based on Dynamips is part of Dynagen, developed from Python and through PyQt and the graphical interface using the Qt library. GNS3 also uses SVG techniques to design the model. GNS3 has allowed network engineers to virtualize real hardware devices for over 10 years. Initially only on Cisco devices using Dynamips software, GNS3 developed and supported many devices from network providers including Cisco Virtual Switches, Cisco Oasis, Brocade vRouters, Cumulus Linux switches, Docker devices, HOPE VSRs. VMware Workstation is a computer virtualization software that allows us to install multiple operating systems on a single physical machine. VMware Workstation provides memory optimization and multi-layer device management capabilities. Features of virtual network, live screen capture, folder sharing and PXE support make VMware Workstation a powerful simulation tool of virtual machine system. VMware Workstation allows multiple operating systems and applications to run at the same time on physical machines. These operating systems and applications run independently in virtual machines. Virtual machines also have a separate hardware system. The layers on VMware will connect to the physical hardware of the virtual machines, so each machine will have its own CPU, RAM, HDD, CD-ROM. Being favorable for students to study and experiment with new environments. Safe and independent application of computer tools. Support for multiple screens. Each virtual machine runs on a separate screen. Figure 3. Unity Interface Virtual Machine System on VMware. Advantages and disadvantages of VMware. Advantages. High security between virtual machines running independently of each other. Physical resources are fully protected because virtual machines have virtual devices. It is possible to get unsafe data sources on the internet for testing without affecting the real machine. Reducing costs for users. Disadvantages. If losing control of real computer, it is possible to lose control of all virtual computers. Low configuration machines with multiple virtual machines installed will make the processor run slowly and affect other programs. See Introduction to Oracle VM VirtualBox. Like VMware Workstation, the software creates a virtual machine on a physical machine. Oracle VM VirtualBox 4 is freeware and slider to use than VMware. Guest additions, folder share, 3D virtualization. The virtual machine automatically adjusts the resolution according to the video. Maximum support hardware. Guest multiprocessing, SMP, supports up to 32 CPUs per virtual machine. Hardware compatibility, full support for ACPI, multi-screen solution. VirtualBox virtual machine supports screen resolution many times compared to a physical screen. Built-in supports ISCSI, starting PXE network. VM groups. VirtualBox allows users to organize and control virtual machines, as well as individuals. Multi-generation branched snapshots. VirtualBox can store arbitrary snapshots of virtual machine states. Remote machine display, allows remote to any virtual machine. Supporting remote desktop protocol, RDP, besides it also supports USB for clients when connected to the virtual machine. Figure 5. RDP feature on VirtualBox. Advantages. Advantages. VirtualBox is open source, free software, slight to use, maximum support hardware. Disadvantages. VirtualBox is free software with no drag and drop feature between real and virtual machines. VirtualBox lacks support more than paid software. 3. Building simulation virtual network system on network emulation software. In this section, I will describe how to build a virtual network. The network system on GNS3 2.0.3 combines the network application system on VMware and VirtualBox virtual machine software. Aimed solution. Building network systems based on GNS3 2.1 RC system including a router Cisco 7200 and a Cisco SOV 9.7.1-1 to build application system with web server and FTP server running on Oracle VM VirtualBox software in the DMZ domain on ASA firewall. Server domain control runs on VMware Workstation 12 virtual machine software which is located in the internal domain on ASA firewall. The above solutions are aimed to saving investment costs in practical equipment for students, building a network to help students approach practice, increasing the ability to practice to ensure the system completion before actual implementation. B. Application model. Figure 6. System model on GNS3 2.1 RC. The system includes in Figure 6 01 Gateway router routes to the Internet. 01 Cisco SOV 9.7.1-1 configures the DMZ and internal zones to connect to the Internet. DMZ connects to web server and FTP server on Oracle VM VirtualBox. Insight_LAN connects to the server on VMware Workstation Pro 12.5. C. System deployment.